Omagyanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurumnitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapetanyena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What is going on today is like people on vacation.
Yes, feels like they're on a long weekend vacation.
Wow. I just sent the link in the group and I was thinking maybe the music link, so I said let me resend the link. Okay. But we have to start.
Yeah.
I don't like rewarding latecomers. Okay, so we stop at 27. Is it not 27 we stop?
Yes, Prabhu.
So we're supposed to read
we stop 27.
Well, 28.
Yes, today is 28.
Okay. Okay, so Krishna continue the Gyan knowledge to Arjuna. Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyaktadinanani eva tatraka paridevana. Translation. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what needs there for lamentation? It's like we read this last week, huh? Have we read this?
No. I don't remember.
Okay, so let's start. So we can read the purport, Prabhu. You can read the purport. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. For the record, accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the other not believing in the existence of the soul. There is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet, even if, for argument's sake, we accept this atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of non-manifestation comes manifestation. Just as from ether, air is generated. From air, fire is generated. From fire, water is generated. From water, earth becomes manifested. From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains. But in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation, either for the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost, both at the beginning and at the end. All elements remain unmanifested. and only in the middle are they manifested, and this does not make any real material difference. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, antavanta even deha, but that the soul is eternal, nitya shoktaha saririnaha, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, while lament the changing of a dress, the material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on the chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization of the basis of the non-existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for loss of the body. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So Krishna is using the opposite logic for Arjuna here. So he has spoken extensively about this, about the soul, about the eternity of the soul, about how the soul cannot be destroyed. But here now is speaking on the other side. Even though if the soul is not eternal, it's just lump of chemicals. There is no loss because in the beginning it was not there. At the end it will not be there. Only at the middle it will be there. See the sound logic that Krishna is bringing forward to Arjuna. It's very, just to convince him that he should not worry about the body. So it's a very nice one. So the Gyana continue until 30. Let's read 29. Then we go to 30. So it's very, very wonderful. Aschayava pashyati kastyena mashayava badati tataiva chaya. Shayava chainam vayan shrinoti sutrapinam vinanaka chaiva kashit. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, some look on the soul as amazing. Some describe him as amazing. And some hear of him as amazing. While others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Isn't it not amazing all the description that Krishna has been giving the soul, indestructible, this spread around the body, eternal, and all this. So it's amazing because it's very minute, this minute particle. It's one moving the whole universe, So it's amazing. It's properly explaining the purpose. Somebody want to read?
Okay, Prabhuji. Since this Upanishad is largely based on the principles of Upanishad, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad 1.2.7. Shrabanayape bahubiryo na labaya. Sranabanto pi pahabo yam na bidyu. Askaryo baktako salosya labda. Askaryo siya janata kusalamunistaha. The fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Men in a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of spirit, and even it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lessons even to Brahma, the first living being in the universe. Owing to a gross material conception of things, most men in the age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matters for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self-understanding, even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle of existence. Perhaps they have no idea that one must think of the soul and thus make a solution to the material miseries. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the super soul and the atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the super soul, the atomic soul, their respective functions and relationships, and all other major and minor details. It is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul and is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statements of Bhagavad Gita spoken by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being deviated by other theories. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in his life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Any question, comments regarding Prabhupada's purport here? About the amazing nature of the soul. Let's read the final verse of the Gyan. Deino nityamabhadyo yam dei sarvasya bharata tasma sarvani bhutani nattam chuchitumarasi. Translation. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be snared. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. Okay. Purport.
All right.
Okay.
The Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. In describing the immortal soul in various ways, Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna as a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher, Bhishma and Drona, will die in the battle. On the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body, not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms develop at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged, but at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need for it. That need must be justified in terms of the sanction of the Lord and not capriciously. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita of this Gyan section of Krishna, 11 to 30, it's not encouraging, does not encourage violence. They don't say why we should start killing people because the soul is immortal. So the soul cannot die. No. They properly clearly explain that aspect. So we have to take note of this, so that we understand the importance. Why Krishna is telling this is to dispel the illusion or the material compassion Arjuna has for his family members. So now we're going to start another new section where Krishna is going to defeat another argument Arjuna presented in the beginning. Okay, it's a very nice one. Okay, so Krishna is going to speak Kamakanda up to Arjuna, philosophy now. that if you do this, you go to heavenly planet. If you do that, this, that, you should not dishonor your family, this, that. So Krishna is going to start that preaching now. And this Kama Kanda, once we are reading it also, I'm going to find out, I ask you, which of the argument that Krishna is trying to nullify? So you please take notes as we proceed. So conclusion of the Gyan, that was in 30. As the best of communicator, Krishna has concluded this part of his instruction with one verse summary, describing his soul's eternity. Thus, Krishna has destroyed Arjuna's illusion with knowledge. Proper knowledge leads to proper action. This section directly attacks Arjuna's desire to neglect his duty out of compassion based on ignorance for his family members. In the next group of verses, 31, 38, Krishna continues his attempt to convince Arjuna to fight. The motivation he stresses here, however, is not based on knowledge, but on fruitive enjoyment and religious duty. In this way, Krishna attacks another of Arjuna's reason, that he will not be able to properly enjoy himself in his engaging, if he engages in the battle. Therefore, in text 31 to 33, Krishna presents Arjuna with the argument that dutiful battlefield will lead to enjoyment. Okay, so let's continue from that set of verses. Or any comments so far?
No comments so far, Prabhu.
Good. Okay, let's go. Thank you. So this is 31. Now there's this different set of knowledge. Krishna is going to start from here. Swadharma pisha viksha navi kampi tumarasi darya de yudashe yunyat kshatriya navi idyate. Considering your specific duty as kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there's no need for hesitation. Okay? Or somebody want to read?
I'll read. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Out of the four orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Satriya. Sat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called Satriya. Trayate is to give protection. The Satriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A Satriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. The system has been followed even up to the present day by the Satriya kings of Jaipur. The Satriyas are specifically trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Satriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyas or renunciation. Non-violence in politics may be a diplomacy, but is never a factor or principle. In the religious law books, it is stated, Avaheshu mito yonyam shigam shanto mahishita yudamanna param shaktya swargam yantyap ya paranmuka yagnishu pashapo brahman hanyate satutam dvije samskrita kila mantraischa te piswargam abhapnuvan. Quote, in the battlefield, a king or satriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving the heavenly planets after death, as the Brahmanas also attained the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Unquote. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on religious principles and killing animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal sacrifice gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Satriyas killed on the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice. There are two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept. In the bodily concept of life, there are specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, respectively, and these duties are unavoidable. Such Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the fourth chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnashram Dharma, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashram Dharma, or specific duties in terms of the specific modes of nature of the body obtained. Discharging one specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the orders of higher authorities serves to elevate one to a higher status of life.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So from here now, we'll be talking more about Varnashram Dharma. So Papa make a very salient point in the purport. Let's discuss a little bit about those wonderful statements of Prabhupada. Anybody took note of that? Let me see. Did anybody take, did you observe that in the purport? Let me hear you. Is that?
Depends what you're looking for.
Okay, what am I looking for? Thank you for asking that question. And I'm asking a general question, so only you are answering. Did anybody's that is you asking me what am I looking for? Good, okay. So I want to hear from others. Do they see any point in the purport? Let me hear from them first, then I will ask you, I will answer, I will give my own answer. Did you see any striking point in the purport that relates to our life personally? Then we can talk about it. Somebody took notes?
Yeah, I have something.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes, that is directly related to our life.
Okay, so there are two kinds of Swadharma, specific
Okay.
duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with religious principles in order to achieve liberation.
Thank you very much. Very, very important. This is a matter of discussion. We have to discuss. Prabhupada is saying here very specifically, he says, there are two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform duty of his particular body in accordance with the religious principle in order to achieve liberation. Many of us, in the name of spirituality, quote and unquote, we neglect our bodily swadharmas. And as time goes on, because we are not liberated, because my information here, as long as you are not liberated, you have to perform your swadharma related to your body. So from here on, Prabhupada is going to be talking more and more. So let us read a little bit. Prabhupada did not stop there, he continued a little more. He said, when one is liberated, one swadharma specifically becomes spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept. So in the bodily conception of life, there are specific duty for a Brahmana and Kshatriya respectively, and such duty are unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the fourth chapter on the bodily plane. Swadharma is called Varnashram Dharma. Or man, please take note, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. So it means that when Prabhupada was leaving this planet, he mentioned very clearly that there is only one thing that he has not fulfilled in his duty. And the devotee were saying, they were giving so many ideas, this, that. He said, no, because I've not been able to establish Varnashram Dharma. So I've considered my mission not completed, So we can understand. So what is Varnashram Dharma? Prabhupada is saying it is man's stepping stone to spiritual understanding. What does that mean? It means that according to our body, our body is given to us based on a particular swadharma. So we have to find out what is the swadharma of our body. Because unless you engage yourself according to your Swadharma, you cannot be happy. You will not be happy. So, are you a businessman by nature? Are you a Kshatriya? Are you a Brahmana? Or are you a Shudra by nature? What is your Swadharma? What is the nature of your body? Find out. Okay. Then we have, that is Varna. Then we have the other side, which is Ashram. Actually, these two is like a train track. It's like a train track. You need the two rail for the train to be balanced moving, isn't it? It's like a train track. So Varna is your bodily nature. Ashram is your spiritual duties. Okay? Like now, as we are here, some of us, we are brahmacharis. Like Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu is a brahmachari. So that is his spiritual duty. Some are grihastha. Spiritual duty, some are sayansi, and like that. So as long as we are not liberated, we have to find out what is our specific duty. Papa mentioned towards the end of the purport. Discharging one specific duty in any field of action is in accordance with the order of higher authority served to elevate one to a higher status of life. So if you don't perform your prescribed duty, and we are going to say in many places in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is going to mention that don't do other people's duty. Because if you do other people's duty perfectly, you will still not be happy. Better you do your own duty imperfectly. You will be happy. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So from now to chapter 3, we're going to be talking so much about Varnashram Dharma. Okay. And we're saying, not today, but in another lesson, we're going to have some class, like group discussion on these points. Okay. So any question regarding this particular passage I just mentioned briefly, or comment?
I'm wondering what it means to act, like to follow according to one's nature, because Prabhupada made statement, Kalau Sundra Sambhava. So everyone born in Kali Yuga is Sudra by nature.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how one is not a Sudra, because technically those who are practicing like Brahmacharya, or I don't know, one is Brahminical by nature because of taking Brahmin initiation, but it's through training, it's not by nature, right? Or help me to understand, because we have to do a lot of training before we become qualified to be Brahmana.
You're right. To be Brahmana, we need a lot of training. Okay. But to be a businessman, if you're a businessman by nature, you calculate money even when you are a child. Even though it is mentioned that everybody is born Sudra in Kali Yuga, but still, there are people who are born with specific nature. Right from childhood, they could discover that. Right from childhood. There's some people, they're very business inclined by nature. You put them in the forest, they start calculating how much money they can make from the trees. How if they can do this, they can do that, they can generate money. These people, they are by share. And you see some people who are by nature, they are bankers. They know they're very good in accounting. Their brain is always calculating figures and all those things. So they are by share by nature. Okay. And there are some people by nature, they are Kshatriyas. They are administrators, good leadership. Okay. So they are, they are not scared of death. They like to protect others. So people still have these natures are there. And there's some people who just like to work for others. So what that text is mentioning is that in Kali Yuga, everybody wants to work for others. That is Shudras. So Shudra means want to work for people, want to work for others. You don't have the intelligence to start your own business or to do your own things. So you want to work for others. So basically, that is what it means. So, but that does not mean, Prabhupada mentioned also in many of his quotes, our own process is called Devi Varnashram. Okay. Devi Varnashram means divine. Varnashram means even though a devotee is Brahmanical in nature, still is still ready to do any service for Krishna. Even a laborer in a similarly laborer kind of work. Or if it's a Kshatriya, he can serve as a particular, as a position of a Brahmana. So it's a transcendental Varnashram that Prabhupada actually was talking about, where a devotee is ready to take any service for Krishna, no matter, no matter whatever is his nature, original born nature. There are some people who are in this, even in this particular age, who are a particular nature right from their births. They're very passionate about that nature. And they become good at that as they grow also in life. So that is my own little understanding. I don't know, maybe some other devotee wants to contribute based on what you understand about this text. Please, open your file. Nobody is contributing. Okay. So the discussion is okay. No contribution. Chaitanya Prabhu, are you okay with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. One thing about spiritual life is that, let's say, for example, now, Grihastha is the beginning of the ashram. When you become a Grihastha, Brahmachari is the beginning of the ashram. When you become a Grihastha, you are a little bit higher. When you go to the Vanaprastha, you'll be a little bit higher. When you come to Sannyasi is considered to be the head of the ashram. But some Brahmachari can go from Brahmachari directly to Sannyasi. That is it. But the thing that is there is that I remember one time in my temple, when I was the temple president, there was one particular devotee, was a Brahmachari. So we used to do a lot of traveling harinam. So during one of the traveling harinam, so he was chatting with one of the girls in the group. I never knew. So one day the girl was working in the kitchen. As a temple president, I was just moving around and seeing the activity of the devotees. So something just asked me to take the phone of the girl. So something tell me, take the phone and check, take the phone and check. So I pick up her phone and I check. And I just saw yesterday night, he was chatting with one of the devotees in the ashram. And they were talking very loving talk, like, oh. And I said, oh, Hare Krishna. When did you people start your relationship? You never told me. Oh, no, Prabhu, no, it's not like that. Tell me, we can make arrangement for you. Then I went to the Brahmachari, I went to the guy. I said, you didn't tell me that you want to get married. If you tell me, I'll make arrangement for me. He said, no, Prabhu, no. I said, see your chat. Oh, yes. It's like, oh, Prabhu, I was waiting for my Guru Maharaj to come. Then I would say, but I'm your first Guru, your Shiksha Guru here. You should tell me. You are waiting for your Guru Maharaj, but you're already talking so lovingly, So I now sat him down. I say, yeah, there's nothing bad to get married. But before you get married, you have to get work doing. You have to do work. It's not about just, I'm having some urge to have sex. Then you say, I want to marry. No, that is not it. Sometimes when devotees stay in the ashram, because they're having sexual urge, they say they want to get married. Actually, they're not ready for marriage. They're not responsible yet. But because of the sexual urge, because they are restricted in the temple, so they think that it's marriage that is the problem. No. So I sat him down. I counseled him. I said, if you want to get married, you have to get to work first. Now you don't have educational qualification. How are you going to get work? How are you going to get money to maintain your family? It's good to get married and stay in the temple, but I've seen from experience, when you marry and you stay in the temple, you will not be happy. Because the temple providing for your wife, providing for you. Then the temple president can tell you what to do, tell your wife what to do. And that way you don't have control of your own house. So you have to be independent as a married person. So I educate him, I sat him down, counsel him. Then he was thinking very deeply about it. He now realized what he's getting to is not a simple thing. You know? Then he said, okay, Prabhu, yes, I want to learn about computer. Very good. That is his beginning start. For now, two of you should not come close. Okay? You get what to do first, then we can discuss about your marriage, you know. And from there, now the guy, so he stumbled to computer. He was not doing well. He said, no, computer is not my way. Then he was trying to learn another thing till he now find his way. His way now, what he's doing now, and he's becoming successful. I saw him the last time I saw him, he's in America now. He's traveling in America, going, you know, putting video here and there. So he now find out that he loves to do Brahmanical work. So he went to India. We sent him to India, and he went and learned Jagya and Pujas and everything. So when he came back, he started doing Jagya and Puja. And now, you know, he's preaching on social media, and he got so many followers. You know, now he's doing Jagya, and, you know, his followers are the one who invited him to America. So he's doing nice now. So what I'm trying to bring out is that we all have natural tendency inside us, okay? So when we are in brahmachari or whatever ashram we are, or when we are young or bachelor, as it's there in the material world, that nature may not fully form. But the more we try to explore life, you know, think more about what am I good at? Am I good at speaking? Am I good at this? Am I good at teaching? Am I doing engineering? Is it doctor? As time goes on in life, you find out what is your nature. Sometimes we don't know, because by karma we are not given that particular nature. But as you explore life, you will see what you are good at will come more and more on the surface. Some people, they discover it very early in their life. Some people, they discover it late in their life. But every one of us is born with a particular nature in us. Until you discover it, then you will never know that this is what you are born naturally to do. And one thing about this nature this natural nature we have in us is that you don't stress of self, because it's your natural nature, you know. So you don't stress of self when you are using your nature to make money. It's because it's your nature, you do it happily. You are happy doing it. In that way, that will not disturb your spiritual life. It's only when you are trying to imitate other people's nature, then you try to give up spiritual life, because it's not your nature, so you are using more energy. But when you are using your own, when you are working based on your own nature, you feel you can align it with your spiritual life. It makes you become balanced human being. You become happy, like that. So it's very, very important, this topic that Krishna Prabhupada mentioned here, that Swadharma, there are two Swadharmas. We should take note of that. Prabhupada mentioned the purport, two Swadharmas. One is our material nature, which we need to subsist in this material world. And the other one is spiritual nature, which all of us we need to be happy. Very, very important. Okay. So any question or comment regarding that? So let's continue if not. Yadrichaya chupapanam swarga dwaramapa vritam sukina kshatriya parta lavate yudamidrisham. Translation. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriya to whom such a fighting opportunity come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planet. So Krishna now is telling Arjuna about Karma Kanda. Okay. And this Karma Kanda is to what part of argument that Krishna is trying to dispel from Arjuna? Who can tell us? What aspect of this Karma Kanda that you enjoy the heavenly planet? Which part of the argument? Try. There's no
So,
harm in trying.
from what I understand on the translation, it's like the Kshatriya is not looking for the benefits of fighting, right?
No. Krishna is saying here from the translation, happy are the Kshatriya to whom such fighting opportunity come unsought, opening for them the door of the heavenly planet. Means that whenever this kind of opportunity of fighting comes, you know, it's a big blessing for the Kshatriya because they will go to heavenly planet, whether they are on the one side, the bad side or the good side. Once you die on the battlefield, sure you will go to heavenly planet. So which aspects of the argument Krishna is trying to dispel here? Okay, let's read the purport. Maybe we'll get more clear. Somebody want to read?
Okay. As supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemned the attitude of Arjuna, who said, I do not find any God in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statements by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be on the battlefield and to become non-violent in the philosophy of the false in the Parasara Srimti or religious codes made by Parasara, the great sage and father of Visadeva, it is stated, Kshatriyo hai prajaraksan, Satrapani pradandayan, Nirjantya parasandyadi, Isim dharmina palayes. The Kshatriya duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties. And for that reason, he has to apply violence. It's suitable case for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the shoulders of inimical kings, and thus with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Parasara Simti, point 1.61, considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom, and if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting will be for his benefit in either case. Hare Krishna.
So who can answer the question now? Somebody get clear?
Krishna is actually he's covering two more than one argument.
Okay, please tell us.
Yeah. So first is basically sinful activity. One would be engaged in sinful activity if one kills their family and relatives, etc. And then the other one is that what would be the what will we gain by killing our own relatives? Like, what would be the use of killing our relatives and then winning the kingdom if we lose our loved ones, in the battle?
Yeah, and Ryan Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I want to share my point that what is Sri Krishna is pointing out to Arjuna on the last verse. He is a Satriya, and for a Satriya, it is he cannot renounce his duty as a Satriya. He need to fight, and because if he don't fight, that is an adharma, and if he fights, he should do his duty as a Satriya, because in the last of this purport sentence that when he die on the battlefield, he will go to heaven. He will have, I think, he will have a two, what do you say, call this opportunity. If you die in the battle, you will go to heaven. But if you win, if you die in the battle, you will go to heaven. If you win the battle, you will become a king and you will reclaim your kingdom. As a Kshatriya, that is his duty to protect his people.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Okay. If you look towards the end of the purport, Shabbat mentioned, you want to read the end of the purport, please? Somebody have it there. You read end of the purport.
Yeah, considering also, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. He should conquer his enemies. He would enjoy the kingdom, and if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case.
So Krishna is dispelling the argument of sense enjoyment. I just say, I'm not interested in enjoyment. I'm not interested in enjoyment. I don't want to enjoy the kingdom when all the people I'm supposed to enjoy it with already dead, these others. So Krishna is telling him here, and he's saying that your duty, he started by telling him his duty that you have to fight anyway, whether you like it or not. Your duty is to fight, okay? That is your swadharma. That is your dharma to fight. You cannot give it up. You cannot go to the forest and become a brahmana. It's not possible. So here he's now saying, he goes further to explain that if you fight and you win, you'll be enjoying the kingdom. Even though if you don't win, you die on the battlefield, you will go to heavenly planet and enjoy. Anyway, there's no loss. Whether you die or you win, there's no loss. There's enjoyment. So this one, I don't want to enjoy. I don't want to enjoy. I want to give up the battle. It's a foolish philosophy. Okay, it's a duty as a Kshatriya to fight. Whether you win or you lose, you will still get the reaction of your duty by performing your duty. That's why Krishna started by telling him about performing his duty in the text 31, 32, like that. Okay. Okay. So let's read this little of Prabhupada's quote. Somebody can read. The eyes is very sharp. Who can see the quotes? Or if you cannot, if you cannot see, then I will read.
I will read, Prabhuji. So long our body.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Prabhu.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Oh, it's very big now.
Yeah, Prabhu Chaitanya, go ahead.
No, I'm saying the writing is very big. I cannot read it.
Okay, Prabhu Ryan.
Prabhu, read.
You've enlarged it, Prabhu. It's very large now.
Pitambar, Prabhu Pitambar.
Okay.
Prabhu, read.
So long our bodily concept of life is not completely eradicated, those who are in Krishna consciousness, those who have decided to serve Krishna only, they are no longer in the categories of Swadharma. The bodily Swadharma, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, or Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, he is transcendental. That is confirmed in every Shastra. So far we are concerned, Krishna conscious, so long our bodily concept of life is not completely eradicated, we must follow the Swadharma of the body, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. But when actually advanced, that is Mahabhagavata, we should not imitate that. But our process is the more we advance in Krishna consciousness, we become the transcendental to this bodily concept of life, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra.
Next one.
Do I have to read that?
Yes.
Both ways you have to fight. Krishna is trying to put Arjuna in the dilemma. This way or that way, you must have to fight. If you think that you are not in bodily concept of life, then it is my order, you must fight. If you think that you are in bodily concept of life, then you are a Kshatriya. You must fight. Both ways you have to fight. This is Krishna's conclusion. Bhagavad Gita 2.31. London, September 1, 1973.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So you can see proper statement regarding the Swadharma. As long as we are not advancing Krishna consciousness, we must perform our duty. And the more we become advanced in Krishna consciousness, the more we give up the bodily designations, like Prabhupada mentioned. Okay, so Krishna, Prabhupada is also saying, Arjuna, if you think that you are not in bodily consciousness, you have to fight. And if you think that you're in body consciousness, you are in Kshatriya, so you still have to fight. There's no way of avoiding your duty. You must perform your duty either way. If you think that you are transcendental, you do your duty. If you think that you are not transcendental, then your duty is a Kshatriya. You must still do your duty. So as long as we are in the society, in this material world, there's a particular duty that is prescribed for us. We must do it. Whether we think we are transcendental or we are not transcendental is very, very important. Okay, so let's continue. There's so many other quotes we read. Let's read more Bhagavad Gita, then we come that. Okay. Are we here now? Or yes, we are past this place. Okay. We have finished this one, no? So next one. 33. Okay. Atache twami mamdaryam sagramam na karishyasi tata swadharma kritim cha itwa papan avapsyasi. If however you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Okay, so purport. Arjuna was a famous fighter and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Shiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in the dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received a reward of a weapon called Pashupata Astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya gave him benediction and awarded him the special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adoptive father, Indra, the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, not only will he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, he will lose all his fame and good name, and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he will go to hell not by fighting, by withdrawing from the battle. So here Krishna is continuing to tell him, if however you do not perform your restorative duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sin for neglecting your duty and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. And for a Kshatriya, the most painful thing for a Kshatriya is infamy, dishonor. They can tolerate anything, but dishonor, a Kshatriya can never tolerate it. So when you see someone who cannot tolerate dishonor, you know that he has some Kshatriya spirit in his body. You know, I remember one time, there was one very small boy like that in my temple. You know, they came for a holiday. His father also is a devotee. So they came to temple. So one day, I slightly chastised the boy, very young boy. He was very small. Now the boy is already in school in Cyprus. He's schooling in Cyprus. But he was very young that time. He was small boy. So I just slightly chastised him. And the boy started crying. I said, why are you crying? He said, because you tell me this. You tell me this. I was saying, oh, a small boy. And he felt hurt just by chastisement. This boy must have a Kshatriya spirit. You know, the Kshatriya, they don't like insults. They don't like dishonor. You know, and like that. So the same thing Krishna is telling Arjuna here. You know, you are a reputable fighter. You fought even Lord Shiva. You got benediction from all the demigods. Even your teacher bless you that you can even kill him. You're very famous everywhere, Arjuna. What would be more, more worse for you than not, you will incur sin by giving up this fight, Arjuna. So Krishna is trying to remind him what he's supposed to be doing. So it's a very nice one. So let's read the 34. We must reach 35 today. Okay. Yeah, Krishna is going to tell him about infamy here. Akritim chapi bhutani kata yisyanti te vayam sabhavistasya chakriti marana ditrishyate. People will always speak of you or infamy, and for a responsible person, dishonor is worse than death. For a responsible person, dishonor is worse than death. Yeah. Purport. Someone want to read?
Okay, I can read, Prabhuji.
Please read.
Both as friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. Then, if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you do better to die in the battle. For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear or your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battle and not to withdraw. Hare Krishna.
We could see this, and what the Krishna telling Arjuna here, that the infamy is worse than death. When Arjuna came to Dwarka, in the Dwarka that time, a Brahmana, there's a Brahmana in the Dwarka that every time the wife gives birth to a child, the child will die. So the Brahmana came to challenge Ugrasena and challenge Krishna. So what is going on in Dwarka, in your kingdom? You cannot even protect my child. My child, every time my wife gives birth to a child, the child will die. What kind of king are you? You cannot even protect your innocent citizen. And Arjuna happens to be there at that time when this Brahmana was, criticizing Ugrasena and also indirectly criticizing Krishna. So Arjuna was saying, okay, Brahmana, don't worry. I'm not the king, Ugrasena. Neither am I Krishna. I'm Arjuna, the carrier of Gandiva bowl. He's very proud of that is bowl. Arjuna is proud of that is bowl. That bowl is very, very it's wonderful for him. He's very proud of it, Just like when America is proud of their nuclear weapon, or Russia is proud of one particular weapon they have, I don't know about their own weapon, So Arjuna is very proud of his Gandiva bowl, He said, I am Arjuna, the carrier of Gandiva bowl. I'm going to protect you, my dear Brahmana. Don't worry. Don't worry about Vasudev or Ugrasena. I'm going to protect you. So immediately the Brahmana's wife wanted to give birth again. Instead of calling Krishna, started calling Arjuna. Arjun, please come and protect my child. So Arjuna came and he shot arrow to cover all the Brahmana's house. He covered everywhere to protect the child. He covered everywhere with arrows. Still, the child still died. So Arjuna become like dejected. He's like despondent. Oh, what happened? What happened? I could not protect. And he said that if he cannot protect, he will burn himself. You see, for a Kshatriya, dishonor is worse than death, So in this way, he decided to go and kill himself. Because he felt that if I make so much amount of myself and I could not protect this Brahmana's son, so at that time Krishna came to his rescue. Why did you have to make so much big, why do you have to glorify yourself so much when you know that you cannot do that? Now you want to go and kill yourself. Come on, come here, let's go and look for the child, okay? So Krishna and Arjuna, they went on a universal sightseeing. They went to Yamaraj, they went to different abodes. Then they started going, when they could not find the child there, they started going to the abode of Mahavishnu. Where that was when they, and so many descriptions of that pastime. So what I'm trying to say is that Arjuna was so, he decided to kill himself. And also there was one time that whoever asked me to give up his bowl, he will kill himself. So also Yudhishthira tried it. He also, disrespect Yudhishthira just to kill him physically like that. So dishonor is what, so Arjuna has forgotten all these things now on the battlefield. He's overwhelmed by compassion and thinking of doing so many things in his mind. So Krishna has to remind him, Arjuna, infamy is worse than death. For a Kshatriya like you are very famous. So you cannot do this. Okay. You do this to fight. You have to stand and fight. Any comments, contribution? Vayarana uparatam syante tamarata yesham chatvam baumato utayasya silagavan. The great general who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only. And thus they will consider you insignificant. Somebody want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna, and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear of your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Krishna is telling him all this. Let's read some purpose quotes regarding text 35. Where is that? Okay. Okay, somebody want to read? Who can see? Oh, this is 36, 37. Actually, we have not read. We're just in 35, Abi.
Okay, I can read Prabhuji.
Okay.
The must
Yeah, read.
dance with Arjuna's position is very precarious.
Your voice is not coming out nicely. Put your mic in your mouth.
Okay. He must dance freely. So Arjuna's position is very precarious. There is a Bengali proverb, Nast Bose Bokanta, a girl she is very famous dancing girl. So it is the system as we have introduced the girls and ladies, they have their veil gusana. So a dancing girl, when she was on the stage, she saw that so many of her relatives are there as visitors. So she began to draw the veil. So this is not required. You are a dancing girl. Now you have to dance. You cannot be shy. You must freely dance. That is your duty. Swadharma Abhi Chaveksha. The Swadharma, the principle is a Kshatriya's duty to fight is to kill in the fight. If you are in the fight, you become sympathetic. Then the same example, the dancing girl, when on the stage, if she is shy, it is like that. We should be shy. She must dance freely. That will be credit. So in the war field, you cannot be compassionate. Bhagavad Gita 2.36 verse 37, London, September 4, 1973. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So let's read the 36 to see the dancing girl. Papa is giving a very nice analogy there. So Arjuna must perform his duty. Avakshyavalam chabhaum vadisyanti tavaita nidastavam samartyam tatodu kataram nukim. He's saying, your enemy will describe you in many unkind words. Scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Okay. Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning as Arjuna uncalled for plea for compassion. And he's described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. Okay, so we can see Krishna here is telling Arjuna compassion is uncalled for. He's thinking that, okay, if you kill them, he's going to enjoy alone. It's uncalled for. So Arjuna has to perform his duty. That is why you see the Indians. Many of the Indians, Once they take a particular duty, whatever they have discovered to be their duty, you see how they take it very seriously. Whether be it those who are working or those who are devotees also brahmachari in the temple, or those who are in India, you go close to them, you see, whatever they have taken as their duty, they take it very seriously. Because this is taught from them right from childhood about this performing your duty. In the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, text 20, is it 27? I forgot. Where Krishna talk about you have the right to perform your duty, but you don't have the right for the reward. I forgot the particular verse.
247.
47, thank you. So you see, all of them know this particular verse. It's very common in India. You have the right to perform your duty. So they are taught right from young, performing your duty. So Krishna has also already stressed for us. So devotees, we as an organization, although we are involving, like I said, there are different stages of every organization in the world. You have the forming stage, you have the storming stage, you have the norming stage, and you have the performing stage. So as ISKCON, we are just getting over the storming stage of our movement. Now we are going to norming stage. And at this norming stage, devotees have to realize that if they really want to be happy as a devotee, they have to do something and at the same time be Krishna conscious. Okay, if you say you want to be a brahmachari and dedicate your life in the temple and do the duties of brahmachari. What is the duty of the brahmachari? The duty of the brahmachari is to study the scripture and go out and beg. But our own begging style for brahmachari in this age now is going out for distributing books. You know, a grihastha, what is the duty of the grihastha? The duty of the grihastha is to work and take care of his family. At the same time, proper mention in Bhagavad Gita, I think it's chapter 13, where he was describing the knowledge. There in one of the purposes, he mentioned the duty of a grihastha should, in the morning, they come together, they serve Krishna, chant the holy name of Krishna, worship the deity of Krishna, and they go out for their various duties. Then they come back in the evening and do the same thing. Prabhupada say if a grihastha is practicing this, even there is no need for the grihastha to leave home also. Prabhupada mentioned that. Okay, so in this way we understand.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Can you just repeat that last statement?
No, I say Prabhupada said that if a grihastha is properly following the duty of a grihastha, like the family, they perform morning programs together, and they go out for their work, and in the evening they come back again and perform the evening program together. Prabhupada mentioned in that purport that there's no need for the grihastha to even leave home to take sannyas.
So to leave sannyas. Oh, I see.
Yeah, Prabhupada said like that.
Thank you.
So what I'm trying to say is that as an organization that we are coming to the norming stage, we have to look at what the other organizations are doing. Those organizations that have reached their own norming stage. Just like let me tell you, the Christianity. Look into the Christianity. They are passed through different phases of evolution. Don't think that today the way it is now is the same way it was when they started. No, it's not. It's not. When they started also was like us, okay? There were so many storming things going on in the churches and all the thing, and different group going different Anglican, this Pentecostal, everybody dividing, and everybody going different direction. But now everybody has attained their own balance now. Everybody know where they belong in the society. And all of them now, they are running the organization in a way that their members, they feel part of the society. At the same time, they perform their duty to the organization. So we have not reached that level. We need to reach that level, because unless we get to that level, people will not be able to relate, with us and be able to balance their life both materially and spiritually. So in the beginning, Prabhupada did whatever he has to do, because that was the forming stage, the beginning of devotion of starting the movement. It's very, very important that many people dedicate their life that time. But now, devotees have to understand that not everybody are going to be brahmacharis, and not everybody are going to be sannyasi. Only very few selected souls in this movement will be that. So once you realize where you fall in, if you're a brahmachari, you fall in, give 100% of your life to the movement. And if you know, okay, you're a grihasta, perform get balance in the society and get your work doing. At the same time, add Krishna to your life. If you can work for the temple, okay, it's all right. If you cannot work for the temple, get work doing outside there based on your nature, what knowledge you have acquired, and be happy, ultimately. Any question, comment?
Voila.
Voila.
No questions so far, Prabhu.
Voila. Sige po.
Prabhuji, is
Salama po.
so good already.
Mataji Ashaya, ano.
Okay, and my question is like, is there written in the scriptures that stated that all Mataji should be married or they should be sannyasini? Thank you.
Let me drink water and swallow the water so that I can answer your question. Yeah. No, the one thing that is there is that there's always a special women in the society, okay? Every woman are not going to be the same, okay? There's always some special women, okay? They are completely different. They are very special because they have realized that every other woman, they are not happy in the society because they are married, okay? Because there's no marriage that is perfect in this world. Everybody is struggling. Even when you see very wonderful couple like Angel and Ryan Prabhu, they look very nice and happy together, but they have their differences also when they get back home. Is it not? Yes, we know. There's no perfect couple anywhere in the world. Okay, so everybody is managing themselves. So some women, they have realized that. So they don't want, some or the other, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, they don't want to get into that drama. Just like some men, they have realized that also. They have realized that, I remember as a brahmachari, when I wanted to get married, I told the Indian man, my boss, who I was working for when I changed my ashram. When I told him that I want to work, I want to get married. He said, Prabhuji, you want me to tell you something? I said, please tell me. He said, Prabhuji, there's no perfect marriage in the world. Everybody is managing themselves. Everybody is miserable in marriage, I'm telling you. I said, oh, no, this person that is talking to me is a very rich man. And when you see him and his wife, they look very happy together. But he's telling me this. Just to tell you, if money can keep marriage, then Bill Gates will still be married. Bill Gates the wife will not divorce Bill Gates if it is money, if marriage is all about money. It's not like that. So some women have realized that there's no need for them to get into this mess of marriage, and so they decided to remain single. We have such women in our line also. Like what is the name of that woman? Popular woman in South India. What is her name? I've forgotten her name. She married to Krishna for all her life. She doesn't need to worry about marriage. I've forgotten her name. If I remember, I will mention her name. It escaped my mind now. But she didn't marry. What is that's her name? Mera. Is it Mera? I think she's
Mirabai.
Mirabai, yeah. Mirabai. Yeah, that is her name. She married to Krishna. She didn't marry. She doesn't need to pass through this dark well. Marriage actually is a dark well. If you are in it, don't condemn it. You have to manage it and be happy in it. Don't condemn it. I'm just saying it because that is what it is. But if you are in it already, you have to manage it. You have to try to be happy and be smiling inside it while trying to be Krishna conscious. So that is what is called suffering and smiling, okay? Material life is all about that, because there's no perfect human beings. When a man and a woman comes together, the two of them, they have different nature, different thinking. They grown up in a different environment. So tolerating themselves, try to tolerate themselves, to understand themselves. It will take some time, 25 years, 30 years. It's not easy. The same amount of years it takes them to stay in their family, the father's house. That is the same number of years it will take people to understand themselves. Sometimes it's 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. So when you see a old man and a old woman holding themselves very happily walking on the road, because they have passed through hard and simple life together, happiness and difficult. They have passed through them. They have passed through it together. So for now, they just have to love themselves because now they've understood themselves. There's nothing. So you see old people, old couples, they look more happy together because they have accepted each other. Unless and until you accept your partner as the way they are, you are not trying to change them. You accept them the way they are. You cannot have a happy marriage life. Okay? You have to accept people the way they are. Most of the problem in marriage is that I want my partner to change to become me. She wants me to change to become her. No. You have to accept the individual, the differences. And that is why. So some people, they don't want to deal with all these things. So they prefer to remain single. So it saves them a lot of headache. So the only thing they are fighting with is their mind. Instead of fighting with other people's mind. Now they start fighting, they're just tolerating their own minds, which is easier to manage. To manage other people's mind is not easy. So if a woman have realized and come to that level and decided not to marry, it means that they are very, very spiritually advanced, actually. Ashama, that your hand is still up. I hope the hand is not paining you. Okay?
But my question is, there's no statement by Srila Prabhupada or it's not in the scriptures. That was just my question because I'm curious if there is a
About
statement.
what? About what?
About Srila Prabhupada saying that we should better be a sannyasi or we should be like married like Matajis. That was just my question. If there's a statement.
That's what we should be a woman should be a sannyasi?
Yes, or get married. Like that was my, if there's a statement in the scriptures or by Srila Prabhupada, that was just my question.
No. No, I'm just trying to expatiate more on your statement about whether women should marry or should remain sannyasi. Those who have realized it, they prefer to remain sannyasi, to take that route. You have many of ladies in this corner now who are wearing white, who are taking the role of sannyasini. And some of them also now they started fighting their right now. Also, like normally American ladies, they always fight for their rights. They want to be initiating guru also. They're already fighting, no? To fight to become an initiating guru. And they are forcing ISKCON to accept, and what can ISKCON do? So some ladies, they are fortunate to realize that they are not this body. And they decided to take that, following the Janavi Mata, who after Lord Nityananda left, he became a sannyasi and he was preaching. He became a preacher and was preaching and taking his disciples everywhere. So some of them decided to follow our footsteps and they are doing very nicely. But regarding whether the statement about whether they should get married or become a sannyasi, that I don't know. But the statement that everybody knows about about women is that it says every woman should get married and every man should remain brahmachari. Okay.
Yeah, great. That statement.
So any other comments? We have 9 minutes more. But every woman should get married doesn't mean that every woman will get married. Okay. Some women, they have gotten so much broken hearts in their past life. So in this life, they don't want to have broken hearts. So they decided to marry to Krishna. Yeah, well, so sometimes when their breaking heart is not enough, that is why you always forget. Then you go looking for another man to give you pleasure. or to make you happy. Nobody can make anybody happy in this world. If you are not happy with yourself, nobody can make you happy. You have to be happy with yourself first. That happiness you are looking from others, you will never get it. If you are not happy with yourself, you cannot get the happiness from others. So only when you are happy with yourself, you can make others happy. If you understand this, you understand life. If you understand this, you understand marriage. Okay. Nobody will make you happy. You have to be happy with yourself. Then you can make others happy. Any other comment, contribution about Varnashram Dharma? We're going to be talking so much about Varnashram Dharma from this point on till we get to chapter 3 actually. Because Krishna Prabhupada is going to be talking more about Varnashram Dharma. So we have more opportunity to do more group works, group exercise and discussion. So whatever points we want to get clarified, we can always bring it up on the topic of Varnashram Dharma.
What verse are we up to? Just so I can mark it down.
Yeah, we are in 36 now.
36. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. So in the absence of no more questions and no contribution, no comments, so we can call it a day and meet tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.